What's up, world? Lee here with Stick, Strings, and Other Things, my teeny tiny itty bitty little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week to chit chat with you about all of the crafty things that I've been getting my hands onto. Still no spinning. I really want to get to it, but I just haven't. I just haven't. So we have some cross stitch and we have some knitting. We have some crochet as well, but I'm not showing it either, though I have been working on it. Tiny itty bitty little granny squares that will eventually become a blanket if I make 1,000 of them. Actually, I don't know the number. I'm just creating that number out of my head. Anyhow, enough of that. We will get there. This is episode 89, and I am filming on July 23rd, 2024. Yes, that is the right year. I'm doing great today. I'm coming to you from a very sunny Pacific Northwest. Yesterday was gloriously overcast all day, and I needed it. But today the sun has come back, and it is still summer, which hopefully means my tomatoes will actually start doing something. At least the plants now have tomatoes on them. Anyhow, welcome. If you've been here before, you know what to expect. If you have not, I hope you find me somewhat palatable. And if you do, please like, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things. Thank you very much. If you want to find me on Instagram or Ravelry, you can find me as Kjellrain. I will spell that here. And obviously, if you found me here, you know what I am. I am Stick, Strings, and Other Things. If you have any questions about anything I talk about, because I get randomly rambly would be the word I was going to say. I get randomly rambly and sometimes forget key pieces of information. And if you have any questions, please ask them below. I am happy to answer anything because I'm not always, well, clear or prepared. I do my best, but we'll see. I do have tea today. Yes, it is in my Scary Sampler mug. And this is Aloha Blend Black from Plum Deluxe. It is very, very tasty. It has a little bit of, shockingly, pineapple in it. I know, you call it Aloha Blend and you put a pineapple in it. How original. Yeah, at least you know the Aloha Blend is going to have a pineapple. So it's actually very tasty. I like it very much. Tis good. So what have I been getting up to these last couple of weeks? Several things, to be fair. Several. I have a few finishes. I do. One is a knitting one. It is my Aster tee. It is finished. It is washed. It is blocked. It is ends woven in. It is not yet trimmed because I haven't yet done that. So we still have an under two to go in. But it is washed. It is blocked, and it is beautiful. Look at this. It is just gorgeous. I'm not wearing it today because I want to wear it on Friday at work, depending on the heat. This was made from Serial Knitter Dye House yarn, their silk tweed base, which was a, oh, please tell me this is the right one, Echo Lake tweed, sorry. It is a 52% mulberry silk, 24% super kid mohair, 20% fine merino, and 4% viscose fingering weight. And this is the Aster tee, which is a pip and pin, sorry, pattern. And I cropped it a little bit because I tend to wear dresses and high-waisted skirts, so this will be put over that. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't remember what this one, I found out what the color for this one is. This one was tourmaline, the main color. And this one, I found the tag. This accent color was called Jamminess. So you can see it has all that lovely, lovely color in it. So depending on the weather, I will be wearing this on Friday at work. If it is too warm, I don't want to wear anything with mohair in it. But if it is not, I will have this. I'm very happy. It's lovely. It fits really nice. And the drape, there's a drape for days, people. Look at this. Drape for days. This is folded up. So pretty. So lovely. I'm very happy. And then, because I was bored and didn't know what I wanted to do next, I looked in my giant bag of leftovers and decided to make a Salish cap. The Salish cap is a hat by, I don't remember the exact designer's name, but it is a blue sky fiber design. And I have not washed and blocked it yet, but this is the Salish cap. I cast it on and I finished it. It is, I'm not putting it on because of my hair. If I was smart, I would have grabbed my head. One moment, I'm going to grab my head. See, my head. This is usually what he's wearing, my little Peruvian hat. But I will use my head to display the Salish cap. So, you can wear it like so, or, come on, be nice, little cap. His head's a little smaller than actual human heads, or you can wear it like so. And no, I have not trimmed the ends, so we'll go that direction. It is just a simple 2x2 ribbed hat, and you use 2 strands of fingering weight together to create it. Simple decreases at the top. But yeah, you just hold 2 strands together, and since it's a hat, I was going through my stash bag being the giant bag of leftover strands that I have, and I held 2 strands together to create these 2 different colors. And they were both blues. I like it very nicely. I think I might use a few more of those leftovers to make a couple more hats, because it was really simple. It was really quick. And then, here's my hat. I can get rid of some of my leftovers. I'm wondering how it would be if I held a self-striping with a solid, and how that would marl through it. I do still need to wash and block this. I finished this yesterday. But yeah, that's just a giant tube of 2x2 ribbing. Done on, I think it was size 8s. It could have been 7s. I used whatever was called for in the pattern, because with a 2x2 rib, even though I have a tighter gauge, I knew this would fit pretty much anyone. I mean, your head can be pretty big in this, because 2x2 ribbing will still work. I might make a bunch of these and just kind of give them out to people as they like, and call that a day. So those were my 2 knitting finishes. I have a couple of stitchy finishes too. I'm just wild and crazy that way lately. I've finished my polar bear peak from Hands On Design. Isn't he cute? He's just adorable. So I did the 1. So that means I have 5 more to go for the Arctic Polar Plunge, whatever it is. I didn't start another one, but I think he's just so sweet. His little face is just adorable. So I did finish that one, and I enjoyed it. I am using all the called for materials for this one, because I do want to make the ornaments the same way as Hands On Design Lady. Her name just went out of my head. As she designed it. So I want to do exactly that. I've bought all the materials for it, so I am doing exactly as called for. The same fabric, same threads, same size, same count, everything. I bought everything. It is living in this very, very Christmassy bag with a Christmassy bell pull. Well, it's not a Christmassy bell pull. It's the Polar Bear Plunge bear pull. So I have a polar bear and a penguin and what is that called? Penguin. A polar bear, a penguin, and a whale. So yeah, I got all the things when this one came out, and I'm happy that I did, because I'm enjoying it, and it is really sweet. What else did I finish? I have to look at my thing. Ah, yes, I finished Bringing Home the Tree. I finished this one. I put it back all together because I have the finishing. I have all the finishing stuff, and I didn't want to misplace it. I got this as a kit, so it is obviously all of the called for materials, threads, fabric, all of that. And this was my 100 stitches a day project, and I finished this the other day. It's really sweet, and it will make a very cute little pillow with, as you saw, a little check backing. It's sweet. Just a simple little Christmas, because Christmas in July, and so those were my two nods to Christmas in July. I did a polar bear guy, and then I did Bringing Home the Tree, and this one was by Scarlet House. So I have also finished that one, and who knows when I'll fully finish it. Yeah, who knows. What else did I do? Oh, that's what I did. Don't mind me. This is on a scrap piece of fabric that I don't remember what it is. Likely Be Stitch Me, but I don't know for sure. It definitely was a 40 count. And this one is a Top Notch Cup of Tea by Top Knot Stitcher. I started it and finished it using the Treenway silks. And I like it. It's sweet. I'm going to turn it into a little flat fold, I think. Maybe a pillow, but I haven't decided yet. As I said, I used the Treenway silks that were called for, and it's just a nice little flowery cup of tea on some books. Here, I'll get it closer. One strand over two. The steam coming out of the mug, there, the little cup, does stick out a little bit better in real life than it is doing on screen, as far as I can tell. Just like you can see that top book. It does exist in real life. You can see it on the screen, at least here. I can't really see it very well. Anyhow, I also finished that. Look at me, starting things and finishing them. This was start 31 or 2. I don't remember. I meant to write it down. Yeah, as you can see, it's on a scrap. I meant to write it down and I didn't. So I'll put it here. It was start whatever that said. What am I doing? What am I doing? Chaos. Misunderstanding. I don't understand. Okay, was that everything? Let me check my notes. That is all of my finishes. I'm feeling quite good. I kind of tossed a lot of my plans for the year out the window and just have kind of been doing my own thing, and I'm feeling really solid about it right now, so that is what I'm going to continue to do. I've been getting finishes and it feels good. Since I finished Bringing Home the Tree, which was my 100 Stitches a Day project, this is one thing that I've been very much enjoying this year, is having a 100 Stitches a Day project. So I started another 100 Stitches a Day project. It is living in this sweet little kitty face bag by Pinky Pearl. Yes, by Pinky Pearl. I can't show you the front because it's a digital pattern and I didn't copy the picture for the pattern, so all you have is the actual pattern, and I don't feel like showing that. I'm using these lovely threads. They're very pretty. I am putting this, I've started this on a 40 count coconut shell by Be Stitch Me, and oh, the pattern is still attached to the front. Let me just remove that bit of a pattern because I had it sticking to the fabric so I could stitch. Right. Let me show you. Yeah, you can't see anything, can you? Come right up close. There it is. That's what I have done. When I picked this one up, this is, oh, I should find it. This is I Will Cut You by, who's the designer? Beam. Lucy Beam. When I picked this up, I had just these two done. And so 200 stitches later, I have not quite to the end. I think there's 2, maybe 3 more of these bumpies. I don't remember. And then I started filling in the flowers. So from back here, you can't see it at all, but I love this fabric. It's called Coconut Shell. And yeah, it's there. It's there. You can see it in real life, just not from afar. So there's going to be this here. There's going to be the words, I will cut you, with some scissors right here. And then underneath it'll say snip, 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 snip. And this is going to be framed and live in my craft room. Or right outside the door to my craft room. Haven't quite decided. But it seemed very appropriate. And when I pulled it out after I spun it, and it said, oh, you'll work on this one, I was like, oh, yay! And I found it, I pulled it out and went, I thought I had a lot more done on saying that with my 100 Stitches a Day projects. I thought I had a lot more done on that. But this is only 2 days in now, and I got that much done. So I'm hoping today, because I haven't worked on it today, I'm hoping today I will either finish the rest of the boobles, the wobbles, the wiggles, these. I would like to finish those or get as close as I can to it and then continue on and then eventually get some flowers. We'll see where we will be in 2 weeks. I don't think it will be finished. I really don't think it'll be finished in that time, but it will be a lot closer. And now I'm going to put my pattern back on my fabric, because I'm doing that with just some needle miters. There, pattern, right there. Not showing you, because paid for a pattern. Seems inappropriate to show those off. Don't you agree? I agree. So that is one of my stitching whips. Let me show you a knitting whip. It is living in this lovely, lovely bag by Fat Squirrel. I love her bags. I think she's my favorite bag maker. I'm not sure though. And I love the mushroom butts. This, if you will recall, if you cast your minds back many, 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 many moons, this is my glittering snowscapes shawl. This is the Stephen West Hyper Knit Along from last year, this past winter, the one that we just went through, that one. And I had finished most of it. I finished all of this loveliness, all of that loveliness during the thing. And then I started this edging. And last time you saw it, this is how far I was on the edging, because here is my stitch marker. Since then, I've done a whole ton more, and no, none of those ends are woven in. None of them. Not a single one. None. None of those ends. None of them are woven in. Kill me. All right, so I have done a decent amount of progress since the last time I showed it, because I want this done. I do. I want it done because it's pretty and I like it. So I'm taking off my stitch progress marker and I'm going to place it here. I'm going to put it at the top. Place it here for how far I had made it. And all I have left is that. I'm not sure how many more repeats that is. 5, 6, 12, 89. I've still got a ways to go. And then all those ends. All those ends. All those ends. I'm not going to talk about those ends. Except I've been talking about those ends. Yeah, it's going to take a while. I really do like this shawl. Things Lee should do before she films. Check how many things are on her memory card. Yeah, it was full. So it stopped me. Or it was tired of me complaining about how many ends I need to weave in, which is also valid and fair. Don't you agree? I think so. I will stop complaining about how many ends I need to weave in. I will go back and talk about my glittering snowscape shawl by Stephen West. It's very, very pretty. I usually don't do white. White is a dangerous color. I will mess it up. But I figure on a shawl it should be okay. And I loved these later colors. And come on, glittering snowscape. Glittering snowscape. There had to be some light colors. Anyway, I still really, really love this shawl and cannot wait to get it done. Which should be soon if I get back and work on it. I haven't worked on it this past week. This was all the progress that I did do. I did like in 3 days. I just sat down and went gangbusters on it. I just went ham. And Did a little too much, I think, because when I was finishing this last repeat, I was all, can it stop now? So it went away again, but I'm hoping it will come out again soon. I am doing this one on US size 4, 3.5 millimeter needles, the Mindful needles. These are my stitch stoppers. Seemed very appropriate for a winter shawl. And this is the yarn base that I can never remember. Well, I can remember what it's called. I just can't pronounce it. And I've tried to look it up, and I've heard it pronounced correctly. I don't have the right accent. It sounds right. It doesn't sound right. So it is this yarn, which is a lovely yarn. It is a single, so great for shawls and the like because it's just got an amazing amount of drape. It's just 100% merino, superwash, single, and it's beautiful. When I wash and block this thing, it is going to grow. Though, I think I used the called for needle size, and I need to remember, I should just always go up one needle size. That is what my tension usually means, but I haven't been doing it for my shawls. So my shawls are slightly smaller than they should be, which for most people on a Stephen West shawl is probably a good thing. But I like his blankets. I like the giant, oh my gosh, I can wrap myself and 10 of my friends in this shawl. I like that size. So I'm thinking I need to stop just doing the size called for, or the needle size called for, and just acknowledge, either do a gauge swatch, which I'm not going to on a shawl. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to, just like I didn't for the Salish cap. Why? It's a ribbed cap. It's going to fit someone. I don't need to worry about a gauge. Do a gauge swatch, or just go up a needle size, Lee. Go up a needle size. You know your gauge is always at least one needle size. I know recently I worked on a project and I actually had gauge on the right needles and it was weird. It was the Aster T, if I remember correctly, which is strange. But that's because I did a gauge swatch and I knew what I was doing. I think that's what it was. Anyhow, that is one of my projects that is on the go and getting there. I've made more progress on my reading shawl. I didn't grab it to show. It's just that giant schlanket. See, I like schlankets. Giant schlanket with colors. And yeah, that's that. I've added another color. It isn't finished yet. It's getting near the end and I'm getting kind of excited about it. What else have I been working on? Oh, right. Where are you? Here it is. This is my Beatrix, companion to the Beatrix Potter Quaker by Needleprint. I was going to call it needlework and I knew that was wrong. So I'm working on this. I finished the Beatrix Potter Sampler Quaker years ago and I just got it framed this past year, during this year, and it looks lovely. And since I also had the companion, I decided I really wanted to get them framed similarly. And that can only happen if you work on it and finish it. So I've been trying to do that. I am using a Vicky Clayton silk in the color Fish Paprika. This is one of her single strand silks from years and years ago. It is supposed to be the color sort of that was used on the original sampler. The Quaker sampler, the Beatrix Potter Sampler Quaker. This is the companion, so I'm just using the same color because I want them to match. I have it on a giant bed sheet, so excuse me while I find where I put it. I do not need all this fabric. I have no clue what this fabric is. I think it's a 40 count. Could be a 50 count. Looks like a 40 count though. I don't know. Could be a 45 count. Anyhow, ta-da! I did one more motif. So when I've been picking this up, I'm trying to pick it up once a month, and in a month I've been trying to get a motif done this year. That's as much as I'm trying to do this year. And back to the picture, which I think is right side up. If I stick to just one motif a month, it's going to take me like 3 years. Or 2.5? I don't know. I'm not sitting here and counting all the motifs. I'm not going to do that. This is also sitting in a Little Boat 88 bag, which is skulls. So I'm not sure what my reasoning was for putting it in. I think it was motifs. I don't know. Maybe it was just empty. But this year, at least, I am doing one motif a month. So, a motif for July is right there. Ta-da! And I'm enjoying this. It's really, really pretty. Let me pull it forward so you can really see the color. Oh, look at the variegation. Isn't that amazing? Here, let me hide my face so it focuses on the fabric. Oh, look at it. Look at the variegation. It's so lovely. Love it. But yeah, it's not going to be that big. And I still have some rolled up. It's not going to be that big. But I haven't decided to measure it out yet. So, I'm using a bed sheet. Not quite bed sheet sized, but I don't care. With that, I'm trying to get a motif done. A month. And I'm good. All for this month. Hooray. Sorry, my tea is starting to get cold and it is sad. So I thought I'd slurp some more. I think, excuse me, I think that is all of my whips, but I do have 2 new starts. Now, I don't remember if this is starts 31, 32, or what, so I will put the number here when I show them. My first one is living in this sweet bag. It's very cute. And yes, this is appropriately motifed, bagged. The thing that's in here is a very sailory, summery thing. I decided to pull out Nantucket Sisters, the sewing chest of Nantucket Sisters Sailor Sarah Elliott. Because that's easy to say. The sewing chest of Nantucket Sister Sailor Sarah Elliott. It is this. And I have all the things, all of them, including the chest, the scrimshaw-y busk thing. I have the stuff to do all of this. And I have had this in my stash since this came out, which was many, many, many moons ago, before I quit stitching. And then it just lived in my stash, and I was too scared to start it because I'm afraid of finishing things. Which is funny, because I've finished things, really impressive things, that I've never shown on here. But yet I'm still afraid of finishing. My logic makes no sense to me. Anyhow, I decided I'm tired of being scared of everything. So, here's my floss monster. Here's all the lovely flosses. They are Gentle Art, DMC, and Crescent Colorworks, which I think is what it's called now. But some of these are cottage colors. I don't even think that exists anymore. I don't know, maybe Crescent Colorworks doesn't exist anymore and it's something else now. I don't know. This has been kitted up for ages. I had it fully kitted up, so I have all the original colors, which is handy when you're doing a, what's the word I'm looking for? An old project, because now I don't have to worry about having the wrong dye lots, because they're the same dye lots as when it originally came out in like 2000 something. Oh, let me look. Do I have a date? Do I have a date? I don't think I have a date. I have no clue. And I'm not going to keep looking. So, I decided to start it. This was last weekend. Not this past weekend, the weekend before. This past weekend, I knew I was not going to be able to do 24 hours of cross stitch. I wasn't going to be able to. And so, I kind of treated last weekend as my 24 hours of cross stitch. And this was the project I decided to start for my own personal 24 hours of cross stitch. And I did this in that weekend. Oh, let me fix this. And it's on a 36 count Morning Dove by I don't know whom, using all the called for, and that's the called for fabric as well, because it needs to fit the chest. And look at that! Did you see it? Look at that! Oh, it's so good. So I have my little lighthouse, and I have my hill, and I have this nice little barn here, and a weeping willow tree, and then my sheepities in a pasture, and then my ocean with whales. I've got whales. A little ship here and a big ass ship here. Oh, I'm gonna have another, because this is like a harbor kind of thing, there's another town-like area over here, and then I will be finished with this. But I want you to look close. I French knotted those sheep. It's what was called for. It's what I did. And look, French knotted sheep. Since they're made with French knots, they are a little strange, sheepy sized. They're sheepy shaped. They're kind of Chernobyl sheep. They're a little wonky. They're wonky. I will bring them up close so you can see my wonky Chernobyl sheep. Anyhow, there were some neat things to do. These are long straight stitches, which you then wrapped with another color, which is almost the same color, so that kind of gives this rope effect, which you can see in real life. You can't really see on camera. I don't know if I can even show it to you. Yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, this is going to go on the top of, and that's how you did all the ropey bits on the big ship. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. I'm so happy I started this. I really liked working on it. It is one strand of thread over two. There are some specialty stitches, like I said, the French knots here, and then the weird ropey things here. There's going to be some satiny stitches somewhere over here, where, I think it's over here, where the compass rose is on the picture. There's a compass rose, and then there's words, over one words, with a little verse. And the compass rose has a bunch of satin stitches. And it's looking so good. Let me read to you, if I can. If my eyeballs work well enough. If my eyes work well enough. Yeah, I might try. I'm actually, no, I'm not going to read that to you. I can't. So this compass rose will have satin stitches, and then here's the rest of the town. So that's what I have to finish. And then there's all the rest of the pieces. There's a whole bunch of pieces that go inside that are little pockets. There's a bunch of things. But I've started it. I'm going to continue working on it at some point, and I am very happy with it. I'm very, very, very happy with it. I think it looks lovely. I am going to stick with the saying that is the verse that was put on here. I am going to use that one. It's all about sailing and missing home, essentially. Oh, it's so pretty. It's mostly full coverage. It's all full coverage down here. Like down here, it's solid. So the ship isn't solid, and this, it sticks out, but. And you can't quite tell, but this is a very, 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 very pale blue. I don't think you can tell that on here. Maybe a little bit, because this is white. You can kind of see that it's a pale blue. It just is so pretty. I'm so happy I finally started this, that I got over myself to start it, at the very least. Now all I have to do is finish all the pieces and then do the fully finishing. Hold my hand, people. Hold my hand. I'll need it. There's a lot of fully finishing. This is the fabric for all of the pieces, and I just haven't bothered. I was worried about cutting it all up because there are some really small pieces, so I'm just putting it on here. But I figured it needed a new bag because it was an ancient ugly bag. And so I splurged and got a very sailing vessel-y type of bag. And I wish I knew who the designer of this bag was, but there's no label, and I don't remember who it is. But they did a lovely bag, and it's a Ship E, which made me happy. Don't know when I'm going to get back to that, but I was very happy with it. And then I have one more. Two more starts. Two more. I had three. That was one. I have two more. Where is it? Un momento, por favor. Ah, I found it. It's right in front of me. So close, it could have bit me. Another start. This is my latest start for my stitching, my 50 starts by 50. I'm creeping up there. I'm in the 30s. I need to be a little farther, but we're getting there. I got this in the mail yesterday and immediately started it. This is Sweet Reward Pin Keep by Scattered Sea Samplers, and it arrived yesterday, and I immediately started it, like I said. It's so pretty. I like it. So since it is a kit, I am using all of the called for. Here are my threads. They are on a, there we go. Make them look a little prettier. They're on a little card. And look at the genius. Look at the genius of that. The symbols are on the card with the DMC numbers. Shall I show that to you one more time? I love that. If you run out, you know what the color was supposed to be. You have the symbol right there. You don't need to keep... Anyway. This is where I made it. So I have the outline on the bird done. He's not filled in here. He needs to be. But he hasn't yet been filled in. And he's holding the thing in his beak, but he doesn't have a beak yet, and he doesn't have an eyeball, and he doesn't... So there's a lot... He's only the one color so far, and he doesn't have any legs. So I'm going to continue to work on him because he's sweet and he's cute, and I want to give him his beak and his eye and his bellies and his legs. Bellies, his belly, and his leg. Evidently, I can't pluralize the right word that needs to be pluralized. I singulared the leg and I pluralized the belly. Stop, reverse that, and make it work. And then I'm going to start all the other little bits around it. It's so sweet. I don't know if I'm going to finish this while I'm working on it, but this, it needs more work. I'm enjoying it. And I'm just using the called for fabric, which I didn't even look and see what it was. 36 count Edinburgh Vintage Country Mocha. So 36 count Edinburgh. I figured it had to be one of those because it has modeling on one side and nothing on the other side. So printed, one of those printed fabrics. So I figured it was Vintage Country Mocha. I just didn't look and see if it was actually, but it is, because I've not checked. And I think it's a sweet bird. Yeah, like I said, got it in the mail yesterday and immediately had to start because it's cute. And I think this is as far as I made it on the last bird pin keep. I think I just did the bird and nothing more. Alas, nothing more, quoth the raven, nevermore. However, I want to get him a little farther this time. So he's going to get a little farther and come back in 2 weeks. And you will see how much farther I got. Whether I decided to just keep going and finish him, very unlikely. Or if I just, you know, finish the outline and fill in the bird and then just go, I'll give him some legs a little later. He's got wings. He doesn't need legs. That would be incorrect, but, you know, that's where my brain goes sometimes. I have one knitting start. So those were my stitching starts. I have one knitting start. I have had this yarn for over a year. And it's just sat here and sat here and sat here. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. And I didn't do it. So finally I caked up a ball. I did my gauge swatch. Doot, doot, doot. I went up one needle size for my gauge swatch to see if it would work. And I liked the fabric that I got. And I got gauge. Ah! And it's a Surrey, so we have floof everywhere now. Yeah, winding Surrey up. Winding Surrey up is always very exciting because the floof just, it goes everywhere. So is so pretty. So I wound this one up. I should probably tell you who it is. This is Thought to Threads Surrey Veil. It is a lace weight. It's 100% Surrey alpaca. So you can kind of play with the gauge because it floof. It just floof. You don't use this size needle for lace weight, but you can when it is Surrey. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? And this is the color Sea Pebble. So, Thought to Thread. And you can see there's some fun, a little bit of modeling in it. It's mostly a solid color. It's mostly a tonal, but then you have these little bits that aren't. Tyler makes some great yarn. He does great yarn. And so this was my gauge swatch. This is the Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. She has a Cumulus tee, she has a Cumulus, I think she has like 5 different Cumulus things. But this is the Cumulus blouse. And I started it yesterday. So I only have, at the very beginning, this is a V-neck long sleeve blouse. And it's a blouse because it's kind of, the fit of the arm is a little more balloony. So I think that's why she called it a blouse. But as you can see, I'm not very far. I'm still in the back and forthy part because this is what I'm creating right now. And then I'll come down, and then it'll reach the V, and then I'll start going roundy, 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 and then I will do an I-cord around the neck, I think that's what I read, and then I'll do some sleeves, and then I'll do a little bit more I-cordy things. So I'm not very far. I'm only a couple rounds in. So I have all my markers for my raglans, and we are set. If you're upset by swearing, sorry. I have sweary stitch stoppers. But it's very fluff. It's very fluff. I am using Hiya Sharps in a US 8, which is a 5mm needle. I do believe this was this is one size larger than the called for. I think she called for a size 7. I just did my gauge on an 8 because I thought that's what it would be. I liked the fabric that I got, so I was very happy that it was also gauge. I didn't have to mess with numbers. I went back and forth with this one when I was getting ready to start it. I even asked some people at work because my size and the sizing. I like Petite Knit. She does not always have the best sizing on all of her garments. She's been going back and making larger sizes, and most of her newer designs usually have them. This one, it's just because of how it's sized. I am at the top end of one of the sizes, and there's supposed to be like 3 to 5 inches of positive ease or something like that for the garment. And at my size, and I am getting gauge. So that, let me start over because this is not very clear. When you're knitting a garment, you can knit it with negative ease to positive ease. So it can be smaller than your body, in which case, as a knitted project, your body would stretch the garment out a little bit, which is fine for many, many things. I have t-shirts and tanks that work that way just fine. Or you have positive ease, like this guy. It's much bigger than my body, and therefore it has positive ease. This is a little bit too much positive ease. It didn't when I made it, but it does now. So this is a little too big now, which is sad, but whatever. This garment is designed to have 3 to 6 inches, I think, of positive ease, and that is how it's made. That's how it will look the nicest. And the size I'm making will give me 3 inches. That's it. So I'll be at the small end. So it will be a smaller fitting, not as much ease. But if I go up to the next size, I will have like 10 to 12 inches of positive ease, which is a lot. That's kind of where we're living here. I think I actually have more than 10 inches of positive ease on this garment. If you have too much positive ease, you kind of look like you're wearing a tent. For some outfits and tops, that is exactly what you want. You want the big, baggy, oversized look. With this, it sort of works as long as I wear a skinny enough bottom. If I don't, I look like I'm wearing a tent. But with this, the Cumulus blouse, it wasn't going to look right with that much positive ease. And I kept going, but I'm really barely making the 3 inches of positive ease. So I was talking to some of my coworkers, and Isabella, they were the one that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, they were the bluntest about it, and that was accurate. They needed to be for me. I don't mean it in a negative way. They needed to be that blunt with me because I needed that, evidently. They're like, it's not going to look good with 10 inches of positive ease. They're right. So that helped. They were not the only one who said that, by the way. Everyone at work said, no, do the size smaller. Do the size that you were thinking of first before you overthought and decided to try the next size up. Don't do the next size up. Do your original plan. Everyone said that. Everyone's right. Isabella was just the blunt one, and I needed that, like that, not in a negative way again. So I'm doing the size I originally planned, and they're all 100% right. I was getting gauge, and I like the fabric I'm getting, so yay. That was a lot about ease. I might cut some of that out. I don't know. If I cut things out, because I babbled a lot, if I cut these out short, in order to get the right gauge, which I'm getting gauge for the project, I am making the size that's actually called for my bust size and not going a size up, because a size up would look bad and I needed to be tucked off the ledge of not going up a size and actually making the size I'm supposed to for my measurements. There's the shorthand. This is living in, who made this bag? I don't remember. Something Angel, maybe? I think it's Something Angel. I don't remember. And there's no bag makers, please. Put a tag in somewhere, somehow, because I'm never going to remember. Anyway, this is my lovely fox bag. I like it because it has the frame, and so you can just do this, and then you can just use it kind of like a bucket, and you stitch right out of it. That's why these guys are still in their plastic bag. I am not going to mess with putting them all in. I can just stitch from here. I will be alternating skeins when I get to going in the round. I hate alternating skeins while I'm going back and forth while attempting to make a raglan yoke. Hate alternating skeins at that point. I will not do it unless I'm absolutely forced to. I don't think I'm going to be bit in the butt by not doing it. These look like they are close enough. So I am not alternating skeins until I get to the roundy bits, where I will, just because it's safer. It's safer to alternate skeins just in case. I don't think you're going to notice it in my yoke. So that is my last start. I do have plans, however, and I'm going to pause for just a second and kind of clean up this mess I've created. So one moment, please. I'm back. The other reason I wanted to kind of clean up was try and see if I could get all the suri off of my face. I have not, but I tried. Once it's all knit together and washed and blocked, the suris and the mohairs stay put. But while you're creating with those two types of fibers, the fluff, it floofs and fluffs everywhere. But it's so glorious when it's finally finished. Ooh, cannot wait. Anyhow, let's get to plans. I have them. Like I said, I'm going to continue working on Sweet Reward, the little bird. I want to get some more work done on that sweet little guy. I have my 100 stitches a day project, my I Will Cut You. We will see how far I get on that object for the next 2 weeks. Like I said, I don't think it'll be finished. I don't. But I'm not sure. It's an odd, it's really, really big, but it's not really dense at stitching. So we will see. I know I'm going to do those too. I will be working on my Cumulus blouse. I'm hoping to get back to my glittering snowscape shawl, but I may not. I may need a little more time away from it before I finish it. I also am planning, depending on how quickly I go through my Cumulus blouse, and maybe even if I don't, I might start another project. I've done my gauge swatch. Here's my gauge swatch. Oh. It's this lovely yarn, and I wish you could feel this yarn. Oh, I need to put the name of the yarn. The name of the yarn is this, because I can't remember and I don't have the tag on me right now. It's so soft. It's so luscious. It's so sweet. Feels really good. And I have gauge on a needle size up. I went up a needle size and look at the fabric. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so good, so good. And this is a, I have no clue what size because it's not on here, and it's an Addie. Addies and I don't always get along. In fact, we often don't. But I had the right needle size. This was the right gauge. This was the right one, and I didn't have any others. So, I think it's a 7. I don't know. I could be lying. It's whatever I needed a size up from what was called for. This is going to be the Violet Cardi. In fact, I think, one moment. I said one moment because I have the yarn. I have the yarn uncaked. I've only caked the one skein. This is Bare Naked Wool's Better Breakfast Fingering in the color Daybreak. It is a 55% merino, 35% de-haired alpaca, and 10% nylon. Undyed. It's so soft, it's so lovely. Why do I always love fingering weight garments? They take forever. Squish, squish. They take forever. But I like them. And they look good. This is going to be a cardigan. That's why it's called the Violet Cardi. It's a cardigan. And it has some lace at the bottom. If I can find a decent photo, I will put the photo here. It's a lovely cardigan. I'm excited, and it will be the next thing I start after my Cumulus blouse or during my Cumulus blouse. It depends if I'm tired of working with Surrey or if it's too fluffy or if it gets really, really, really hot again. I don't want to work with Surrey. But so pretty, so pretty. I wish this was Touch-A-Vision, because you need to pet this yarn. You seriously need to pet this yarn. It is eminently pettable. So those are my plans. I'm also planning on starting 2 or 3 new stitching projects before the next time I film, I think. I kind of have the end of the year figured out with what I want to start to get my 50 in 50 started. I kind of have that all figured out. Sort of. Mostly. I know specifically things that I need to start and when I want to start them. I know I need to start my peacock unicorn and a badger, my pub crawl, my pub start. That's my 50th. So I have number 50. I know that one of my starts in December, and it may be my only start in other start in December, because that's going to be my birthday start. Another December start will be the Modern Folk Embroidery Advent mystery knit-along thing that I've done the last couple of years. I've purchased that box, so that'll be another start, and I cannot wait. December's busy, so those might be my only 2 December starts. So that means I have to have 47 things started before December. Sorry, 48, because I can do maths. 48 things started before December, because 49 and 50. Maybe I'll leave 1 open just in case something's really exciting and I want it. So 47. 47 starts by December. In November, I'm going to start another Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm going to start the giant Virlanda sampler that he has, and I'm going to be using the Evertote Carrie's Roxy Floss Co's Virlanda color. It's that gorgeous brownie blacky mix. I'm going to use the Virlanda on the Virlanda color on the Virlanda sampler. The Virlanda sampler. No, the Virlanda sampler. And so I'm going to do the giant one. I think I have the fabric picked out for it. I'm just making sure that that makes me happy. So I know I have one start in November. Maybe I'll have a couple more. Don't know. It depends on how much I've done before that. In, what's the month before November? October. In October, I want to do a couple Halloween or spooky sampler starts. Not samplers, but spooky starts. I want more Halloween-y stuff. And to work on Halloween-y things. I also think I'm going to be working on Halloween-y things next month as well. But we will see. I want the spooky, I want the Halloween, I want it all. I still think I might start my Sanderson sampler that I just purchased. I might start that in September because it's a Sanderson sister. Even if it's not not Hocus Pocus, it's Sanderson. Work with me, people. Sandersons. Halloween. Spooky, but also a sampler, but not really spooky at all because it's a spooky sampler in my brain, even if it isn't on the fabric. But I want a couple more spooky or Halloween or Gothic type starts in October and maybe next month. We will see. But I have the itch. I have the itch. The itch is strong. It's spooky season, people. It is spooky season. Spooky season starts in June and is year long also. But it really, really starts in June and is all year. Spooky. And then there's September, which is Sampler September. And I'm going to be starting the Evertote sampler project that they created, the collaboration with Ellen from Maximum Cross Stitch. I am doing the original sampler, not the recreation that Maximum Cross Stitch worked on. I'm doing the original because I liked the hills. The hills are very, very weird. They're very textural. They drew me in when I saw it. And I went, that is tapestry texture. It's interesting. Anyway, it drew me in, and so I will be starting that sampler. I am also going to start Chirche and Girche that I got during Jacobpalooza the other year. I'm going to start that in September, as I'm assuming whoever it is who does the BAP to School, the big ass project, Back to School, BAP, to School, Sal, if they're doing it again this year, and I don't remember who does it, brains don't work, whoever does that, I'm going to join this year, and I'm going to join with Chirche and Girche, because that's a big ass project, and I haven't started it yet, and I want to because it's gorgeous. So, and I might start another sampler or two in September, leading us to August, which is what it will be when I next film. And yeah, that's not enough projects to have started, so I think I need to start a couple projects this week. We will see what they will be. I have one planned, like I have one completely planned. I was thinking of doing Naptime Stitchers Olympics thing, but then I realized the Olympics start this coming weekend and I am out of the house the entire weekend. At least that's the original plan. Life might have happened and that might not be happening, but if it does, if my original plans happen, I will be gone that entire weekend. My original plan for what I was going to start isn't going to work because I was going to work on one project during the Olympics. And one second, I'm going to show you what it was going to be, and may still be. I may still work on this during the Olympics, but I may not be starting them at the opening ceremony during the day of the opening ceremony. I'm not sure how much I'm going to watch the Olympics, if at all, but I still kind of wanted to join along. So if I am free this weekend, which wasn't my original plan, but if I am, this is what I will start on the 26th. I think it's the 26th. Whenever the Olympics start. This is what I was going to start. This is what I was going to work on during those 2 weeks. Not solely, not only, but I was going to give this work every single day. If my original plans where I'm not going to be home this coming weekend, I will start this that weekend and just kind of go along, I guess. I was going to start this. Duh. Yes, Taya Governor's Paris. I mean, come on, people. How could I not start this during the Paris Olympics? I mean, come on. And I love Paris. Oh, so good, so good. Look at this Paris. So pretty. Even if it doesn't have my favorite cathedral on it. I mean, we have Notre Dame, of course we have Notre Dame. How could you not have Notre Dame on here when it's Paris? But I don't know how they would show my favorite cathedral, because from the outside it's not very exciting. But from the inside, just saying, if you ever go to Paris, go to Saint-Chapelle. Just go to Saint-Chapelle. Go. Do it. Anyhow, this is what I want to start. I bought this kit a little while ago. I don't remember when. But it has the Aida in it. And I don't want it to be Aida. So I bought 36 count Edinburgh linen instead. And because the Aida was, what, 18 count? So that 36 count, 18 count, they'll be the same size. All I'm saying, they'll be the right size. Oh. This is what I'm going to start for the Olympics. And it sort of works for a lot of the Naptime Stitchers prompts. A lot of them. There's water. There's water. See, there's water. You can envision that there's water there because it's a bridge. And you know, it's the Seine. So you know it's there. It exists, sort of. And then you have all the other, things. I love Paris, just saying. If you ever have a chance to go to Paris, go. I love Paris. Ah, so good. Eventually, I kind of want to do more of these. I want to do Rome, because I've been to Rome, and Rome was lovely, and I want to go to Rome. I don't think I've bought Amsterdam, but I should, if I don't already have it, because I've been to Amsterdam, and I love Amsterdam as well. Been to Japan. It's kind of pretty. Or Japan version. I have never-ending Russian rooftops as well, which is what years ago someone called St. Petersburg, which is another one of hers. And it's the one I first bought, and I've just always been intimidated to start because never-ending Russian rooftops, which is also just fun to say. So instead I'm going to do never-ending Paris rooftops. Because I want to. It's so pretty. And it's all prettily kitted and everything. I've got all the things. And luckily it's already sorted for me. Thank you. Anyhow, that would be my Olympic start, depending on how I start the Olympics thing. And I'm not going to exactly hold true to Naptime Stitcher's prompts because I'm not going to, because I'm doing it slightly different, because I can't ever follow the directions, people. I cannot follow the directions. I cannot do it. But I'm going to try in my own way, like me. I have talked a lot this time. So let me just really quickly do my two purchases, which were both club. They were both not clubs. Yeah, clubs. Yeah, no. This is my Knitspin Farm Mammalia. It's a capybara, the largest member order Rodentia. So this is my self-striping sock yarn, which I haven't made any self-striping socks in an age, and I need to. Woo! I lost my capybara. No, my thing isn't going. Get in there. I did not tell you about the capybara. I just said this. Mammalia is the class of warm-blooded animals that have hair and nurse their babies. This yarn celebrates the biggest species in their orders. Siberian tigers, for example, are the biggest in the order of cats, and eastern lowland gorillas are the biggest primates. We're very lucky that the biggest rodents, capybaras, are so cute. Thank you for being in the yarn club. I'm not sharing the coupon code with you. Apologies. Capybara. Amelia. Sorry, I should have shared that. I think I should read the colors too. I'm going to, just because they're cute. Alternating thick and thin stripes, Siberian tiger. Cat, orange. Western Indian manatee, Serenian, green. White rhino, odd-toed ungulate. Capybara, rodent. Polar bear, bear. Eastern lowland gorilla, primate. Yarn Club, nature. And then my other piece is Fox and Rabbit June Fabric of the Month. If you haven't seen it, I guess you can look away or you can just enjoy. This is Sugar Plum Christmas and it's a 40 count. I have no clue what I'm going to do with this, but it's really pretty. I can do something Halloween-y on this. Yeah, maybe that. Maybe I'll do something Halloween-ish on this. It's a great color. And those are all my purchases. That's it. Oh, and the bag that I showed earlier that I put the sewing chest of Nantucket Sister Sailor Sarah Elliott in. It's a very long chart name. The only other things I have are this. This is all stuff that is extra. No, not this. This is a bumper sticker. Because I'm not a pre-existing condition. I'm not. These are all either kits that I don't want, projects I don't want, or extras. And I need to give these away at some point, somehow, some way. But I haven't figured out how yet. So keep watching and maybe this will be a giveaway at some point. Or maybe each one of them will be a giveaway. I mean, not all together, but one at a time. I don't know. I don't know how to do that type of thing. Oh, very well. But maybe these will be giveaways at some point. Perhaps. They're extras, and I don't need them. Extras are things I don't want. And I don't need them. So maybe I will give them away. Let me know. Let me know if you'd like me to. And how I would do it. I don't have a clue. And on that note, I'll go to life, which is, well, same old, same old. Like I said, I'm going to probably be busy this coming weekend. And if I'm not, then I'll be stitching on Paris and knitting on my cumulus. And who knows what else I'll be getting up to. Starting things. Starting. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of boring. I'm going to drink some more tea. I think today I'm going to take my knitting after I finish editing, uploading, and doing all the magic. I think I'm going to go sit on my deck and knit on my cumulus blouse. I think I'm going to spend a chunk of the day doing that. And on that note, I'm going to let you all go because I have no clue how long I've babbled at you. Thank you for hanging out with me. It has been a joy. And happy crafting. Bye all.